The endless expanse of the universe is less empty than once thought, teeming with civilizations both ancient and nascent. At the fringe of the Kepler belt, the silence of the void was broken by the hum of an awakening vessel. The warship Relic, an heirloom from humanity's militant past, drifted into the sensor range of the Zelthon exploratory fleet. On board the Relic, Commander Adam Hayes stirred from a deep cryosleep. Monitors flickered to life, displaying streams of data that spoke of a vessel far from home. The ship, a hulking mass of steel and circuitry, was like a dormant beast stirring in its den. The Zelthons, whose knowledge of physics made them arrogant, initially dismissed the Relic as a primitive piece of space debris. Their laughter echoed through the communication channels as they beheld the ship's outdated design, a relic by their standards. Yet, within the halls of the seemingly decrepit vessel, history breathed. Each corridor and panel held stories of battles fought, worlds discovered, and the relentless spirit of a species that had looked to the stars and seen not a void, but a canvas. Adam, sensing the skepticism of the alien visitors, felt a tinge of pride. He knew the Relic was more than what it seemed. This ship had once been at the forefront of an interstellar frontier, now a museum of human ingenuity and resolve. As he initiated the startup sequence, the ship's engines began to rumble, a sound that grew into a thunderous roar. The Zelthons, who had advanced to the point of silent energy propulsion, watched in bewilderment as the Relic came to life. Its engines, old fusion reactors reignited, painted the surrounding space with a brilliant azure light. What was once an artifact of human aggression now stood as the sole representative of Earth's desire to reach beyond. Commander Hayes knew the task ahead was monumental. This first contact was not just a meeting between species, but a convergence of the past with the future, the beginning of a new chapter in the story of humanity. Adam, poised at the helm, prepared to guide the Relic through this uncertain odyssey. The ship, with its archaic weapons systems and shield generators, may have seemed outmatched by the alien technology, but it was more than a match in spirit. The Relic was a vessel of survival, carrying the legacy of a race that had always found a way to persevere. Now, against the backdrop of the cosmos, it would do so once again. The Zelthon explorers, towering beings of bioluminescent skin and sophisticated intellect, stood in the docking bay of their flagship, awaiting the arrival of the human commander from the ancient warship known as Relic. The air was charged with a mix of curiosity and condescension, for they could hardly believe that such a primitive vessel had crossed the gulfs of space to reach them. Commander Adam Hayes, a man forged in the traditions of Earth's naval heritage, stepped through the airlock. The gravity aboard the Zelthon vessel felt unfamiliar, lighter, but he carried himself with the weight of his mission. His uniform, though outdated by centuries, was meticulously maintained, adorned with medals that told tales of valor and exploration. The Zelthons scrutinized him, their faces unreadable. Their technology could deconstruct atoms and weave the fabric of space, and yet here stood a man, a Relic himself, from a civilization they assumed had long since perished in the vastness of space, or the folly of its own infancy. Adam broke the silence, his voice steady. "I am Commander Adam Hayes of the United Earth Directorate. I come in peace and bring greetings from a planet that thrives with life, and a history rich with the pursuit of knowledge." The Zelthons exchanged glances, their laughter gone. There was something about Adam's presence, the confidence with which he carried the history of humanity in his posture, that demanded a second look. They led him through corridors lined with technology that shimmered with an almost ethereal quality, to the council chamber where the true test of first impressions would be made. As he entered the chamber, a hush fell over the assembled dignitaries. Here, in the heart of Zelthon power, Adam was an anomaly, a figure out of time. The Zelthons prided themselves on their understanding of the cosmos, but Adam's very existence challenged their long-held belief that no other species could rise to their level of advancement without self-destructing. Adam knew the Relic was the underdog in a universe that had moved beyond such crude mechanics, yet there was wisdom in its walls, lessons learned from humanity's tumultuous past, and the unquenchable curiosity that had propelled them to the stars. The relic may have been an object of ridicule upon first glance, but Adam was ready to demonstrate that humanity was far more than its technology. It was its unyielding spirit, its tenacity, and its undying hope. The session commenced, and Adam prepared to make the case for humanity's place in the Galactic Assembly. In the Grand Assembly Hall of the Zelthons, a spectacle of diplomacy and debate unfurled. Commander Adam Hayes stood among beings of various forms and intellects, each member of the Interstellar Council evaluating humanity's potential role in the galactic fold. The relic's sudden appearance at the edge of the Kepler belt had sparked a myriad of discussions across the vast array of civilized worlds. Adam watched, listened, and learned. The Zelthons championed peace and knowledge, yet their political arena was a labyrinth of intrigue and subtle machinations. Each civilization brought its own agenda, its own preconceived notions of a species still wet behind the cosmic ears. As the talks progressed, it became clear that humanity's entrance into this domain would not be without its hurdles. The Krylocks, a warrior race known for their expansionist policies, questioned the inclusion of a primitive race with obsolete technology. They saw the relic as a mere curiosity, not a symbol of potential. But the Council was not unanimous in their skepticism. Some saw in humanity's raw and unpolished history a reservoir of untapped potential. Adam felt the weight of his species' reputation, a mix of ferocity and ingenuity, often their greatest asset and heaviest burden. Tensions rose when a Krylocks delegate dismissed the relic with a sneer, suggesting it be relegated to the archives of history rather than the annals of the Council. Adam's response was measured, yet firm. We may not boast the advancements that fill this chamber today, but humanity has a knack for perseverance, for thriving in adversity, and for finding unity in diversity. In a move that surprised the assembly, the Zelthons called for a recess. Adam was escorted to a viewing platform where the vastness of space stretched out before him. There he contemplated the journey of the relic, its purpose redefined not by the strength of its hull, but by the resilience of its crew. As he gazed out at the tapestry of stars, Adam knew the battle for humanity's acceptance would be fought not with weapons, but with wits. The relic, once a harbinger of human conflict, now served as a bridge between the known and the unknown, its rebirth a chance for humanity to prove its capacity for growth and contribution to the cosmic community. In the quiet of space, the relic awaited its next command, ready to navigate the intricate dance of diplomacy. Adam Hayes, a man out of time, held on his shoulders the dreams of his home world, Earth, as it teetered on the cusp of a new dawn or an abrupt dusk in the eyes of the galaxies. The Krylocks' threat loomed like a shadow over the Council's proceedings, their disdain for the relic only a symptom of a larger malice. As the peace of the assembly fractured, a distress signal pierced the calm. The Krylocks' armada had begun an offensive on a peaceful border sector, threatening to tip the scales into war. Commander Adam Hayes saw an opportunity amidst the chaos. The relic, while an artifact of a bygone era, was also a testament to human adaptability and courage. He petitioned the Council, offering the aid of the relic to repel the Krylocks' invasion. The Zelthons, intrigued by his audacity, granted him temporary command of a small joint task force. Adam and the relic, now accompanied by a contingent of Zelthon vessels, warped to the embattled sector. The Krylocks were unprepared for the archaic tactics and sheer ferocity that the relic brought to the fray. Its cannons, outdated yet powerful, ripped through the invaders' shields with unexpected ferocity. The Krylocks, who had laughed at the obsolete Hulk, found themselves reeling from the relic's relentless assault. Adam orchestrated a symphony of destruction, utilizing maneuvers that were unpredictable to the enemy's more advanced systems. The relic, in a display of might that belied its age, became the spearhead of a counterattack that pushed the Krylocks' forces back. News of the skirmish rippled back to the Council. The image of the relic, engines flaring as it dove through enemy lines, became a rallying cry. Here was a human and his ancient ship, standing against a common foe not for conquest or glory, but for the defense of others. The battle was not just a show of might, it was a declaration of humanity's resolve. Adam's leadership and the Relic's surprising performance began to sway the opinion of the Council. Where there was once ridicule, now there was respect. Where there was doubt, now there was consideration. As the dust of battle settled, the Zelthons began to view the Relic not as a relic of the past, but as a beacon of a possible future. The human warship had roared to life, its voice heard across the stars, its presence now a symbol of a united front against tyranny. With the Relic at the vanguard, the ad hoc fleet moved deeper into contested space. The klocks armada, cunning and brutal, had never encountered a force led by a human, nor one that employed such ancient technology in battle. The Relic's previous triumph was not just a fluke. It had introduced a new dynamic to the theater of war. Commander Adam Hayes, now respected as a tactician among his allies, engineered a plan to intercept the klocks at the strategic junction of the Andor Pass, a nebula that had seen countless battles across the eons. The nebula's swirling gases provided the perfect backdrop for an ambush. As the klocks fleet navigated the nebula, the Relic and its allied ships emerged from the mists like phantoms. The battle that ensued was chaotic, a dance of light and shadow, energy and strategy. The Relic's archaic projectiles were met with surprise, their physicality bypassing the energy-based defenses of the klocks ships. Adam's command was both instinctual and shrewd, born of a lineage of warriors who had taken to the seas and stars of Earth. His orders were direct, his maneuvers decisive. Each salvo from the Relic was timed with precision, leveraging the nebula's hazardous environment against the enemy. The tide turned when the Relic bore down upon the klocks flagship. In a daring move, Adam brought his ship alongside the behemoth, its shields scraping against the enemy's hull. The Relic unleashed a barrage that tore through the flagship's armor, setting off a chain reaction of explosions. As the klocks flagship broke apart, the Relic skirted through the debris, its silhouette a symbol of defiance. The battle among the stars was not just a victory of might over might, but of resolve over arrogance. The klocks, now in disarray, retreated. The coalition fleet, a tapestry of species united under Adam's leadership, cheered in a multitude of languages and frequencies. The victory was not just for the sector, but for the possibility of harmony among the stars. The Relic, scarred yet steadfast, emerged from the Andor Pass as more than just a warship. It became a catalyst for change, a herald of a new age where unity could be forged from the fires of conflict. Commander Hayes, a man who had slept through centuries, awoke to find himself not an anachronism, but an avatar of hope for a united galactic front. In the aftermath of the nebula clash, the Relic, now battle-worn and venerable, anchored above the liberated planet of Othara. The klocks' defeat had reverberated like a cosmic shockwave, shaking the very foundations of the Galactic Council's perceptions of humanity and the aged ship they once mocked. Commander Adam Hayes stood on the bridge, the glow of Othara's grateful cities illuminating his face. The Zelthons, who had witnessed his leadership and the Relic's valor, extended an offer of alliance to him. What was once unthinkable had come to pass, a human leading a fleet of combined alien forces. With each successive battle, the Relic spearheaded not just the vanguard of assaults, but also the march towards unity among civilizations. Adam's strategies, once considered unorthodox, had now become lessons in tactics at the Zelthon War Academy. The camaraderie among the crew of the Allied ships grew stronger with each skirmish. They learned that the Relic was more than a ship. It was a legacy of a tenacious species. The once scoffing voices of alien commanders now spoke of Commander Hayes and his ship with reverence. The unity that had been forged in the fires of battle was about to face its ultimate test. Intelligence reports indicated that the klocks were regrouping for a final assault, one that could decimate the tentative peace that had been established. The Galactic Council convened, and the air was thick with a mix of fear and determination. Adam addressed the council with the confidence of a seasoned veteran. "We've shown that together we are formidable. The Relic is not just my ship, it's our beacon. It stands for all of us, for our shared future." The Zelthons, moved by Adam's speech, pledged their most advanced ships to support the Relic in the upcoming confrontation. The fleet, a mosaic of civilizations, assembled at the edge of the Otharan system, ready to defend their collective freedom. As the Krylok's armada approached, a hush fell over the coalition ships. Adam's voice broke the silence, not with an order, but with a promise. We stand together, not as different species, but as allies. Today, we fight for each other. The Relic's engines hummed a familiar tune, a prelude to the imminent battle. The old warship, alongside its newfound brethren, awaited the final stand. What began as a relic of the past had become the fulcrum of unity, a unity that would soon be tested under the fire of a determined foe. The Krylok's had assembled their forces in a show of intimidating might. The expanse of their armada blotted out the stars beyond, a menacing tapestry against the cosmos. But Commander Adam Hayes and the Relic, alongside their allied fleet, stood as the bulwark against this darkness. The siege of Orion's nebula would be recorded in history as the zenith of the conflict. It was here that the Krylok's unleashed their feared weapon, a gravity well generator capable of tearing planets apart. The Council's fleet, under Adam's leadership, was all that stood between the Krylok's and the heart of civilized space. As the battle commenced, the Relic charged into the fray, its engines screaming through the void. The Krylok's, confident in their technological supremacy, focused their efforts on the Coalition's more advanced vessels, underestimating the Relic's strategic importance. The old warship wove through the maelstrom of energy and debris, evading the gravitational eddies unleashed by the Krylok's weapon. Adam, displaying a calm born of countless battles, directed the fleet with a deft hand. Each ship moved in concert, a symphony orchestrated by the lone human who had earned the respect of a galaxy. In the heart of the nebula, the Relic faced its greatest challenge. The gravity well generator's power threatened to crush the old ship like a tin can. But the Relic was more than metal and circuits. It was the embodiment of human defiance, of the undying will to survive and protect. With a bold maneuver, the Relic dove towards the generator. Adam's voice was steady as he ordered the launch of their final payload, a singularity torpedo, the last remnant of Earth's forgotten arsenal. The Relic's shields flared against the gravitational onslaught, the ship groaning under the stress. The torpedo found its mark, plunging into the heart of the generator. A moment of silence preceded the cataclysm. The generator imploded, the gravity well collapsing in upon itself, consuming the Krylok's weapon and nearby ships in a silent maw. When the light cleared, the Relic emerged, battered but unbroken. Around it, the Krylok's fleet was in disarray, their invincible weapon destroyed. The Coalition fleet, inspired by the Relic's courage, rallied and launched their counteroffensive, breaking the Krylok's lines. The siege of Orion's nebula ended with the Krylok's in retreat, their advance halted by the Coalition's newfound unity and the unexpected valor of a human and his ship. Commander Adam Hayes, once a Relic himself, had proven to be the heart of the war, a heart that pulsed with the courage of not just one species, but many. The aftermath of the siege of Orion's nebula marked a new era in the galactic landscape. As the remnants of the Krylok's fleet limped back to their territories, a sense of unprecedented unity permeated the Coalition. The victory, spearheaded by the Relic and its human commander, had reshaped the political dynamics of the Council. Commander Adam Hayes, with his archaic vessel, had not only turned the tide of a critical battle, but also cemented humanity's place among the stars. The Council convened once more, this time not in skepticism, but in celebration and acknowledgement. The chamber, filled with representatives from countless worlds, resonated with a harmony previously thought unachievable. The Relic, once the butt of cosmic jokes, was now hailed as the linchpin of peace and cooperation. As Adam stood before the assembly, he reflected on the journey that had brought him here. The old warship, entrusted to him as a relic of Earth's martial past, had become a symbol of hope and resilience. He spoke not just as a commander, but as a representative of a species that had defied expectations. Today we stand at a crossroads, Adam declared, his voice echoing in the chamber. The Relic's roar has not only quelled a threat, but has voiced a promise of solidarity among all beings seeking peace and prosperity. The Council responded with a unanimous decree. The relic would serve as the centerpiece of a new fleet, a combined armada dedicated to defending the collective security and fostering the exchange of knowledge among the civilizations. Furthermore, they established an academy where strategies and cultures could merge, with Adam appointed as its first dean. The celebrations that followed were grand, stretching from the assembly halls of the Council to the distant colonies that had followed the conflict. Across planets and moons, beings of all shapes and sizes commemorated the relic's triumph. As Adam walked through the corridors of the relic, now docked at the Council's space station, he felt a profound connection to the ship that had stood by him through the ordeal. It was more than metal. It was a testament to human ingenuity and tenacity. The Warship, once destined for a museum, now prepared for its new role as a beacon of unity. It stood ready to face whatever challenges the future might hold, a guardian not just of humanity, but of peace itself. Commander Adam Hayes looked out at the stars, a canvas once again, filled with the light of possibilities. The relic, much like the man who commanded it, had found its place in the cosmos, a place earned by courage, wisdom, and an unyielding desire to bring worlds together.